subscribe.
The Voices of Victory podcast show.
Voices of Victory.
Vision.
Voices of Victory.
Leadership.
Voices of Victory.
Workplace-related topics.
The Voices of Victory.
Voices of Victory. Voices of Victory. Voices of Victory.
It's time for the show. You are now listening to the Voices of Victory podcast show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Di Leone.
Hello and welcome to Voices of Victory podcast show. I'm your host, Mario Di Leone. And the first thing I want to say is the following. I am a former nutritionist and chef with a personal interest in how supplements actually impact us as human beings, much like GABA and how it may support mental clarity and, of course, well-being. However, I am not a licensed medical doctor. This content is for informational, educational purposes only, and please consider medical advice before taking on any type of supplements, please. Make sure it's not contraindicated of something you're already taking, that it's going to impact or cause an issue. This content is informational only. Always consult with a licensed physician or qualified healthcare professional before starting any type of supplement, including GABA. It is your personal responsibility to ensure that any health decisions are made with proper medical guidance. Now, with that being said, we can move forward from here. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about GABA. It reminds me of that song from Chub Rock called Yabba Dabba Doo, right? But we're going to talk about GABA. The first thing we want to talk about is, what is it? What is it simply? Right? What is it? Simply put, it's gamma-aminobutyric acid. It's a chief inhibitory neurotransmitter in developmentally mature mammalian central nervous system. Okay? That's the Wikipedia version. So let's go ahead and unpack it a little bit further. GABA and the basics of GABA, it's your brain's brake pedal. What is it? It's gamma-aminobutyric acid. It's your brain's main chill-out chemical. It helps calm things down when your brain is getting too loud or overexcited. Think of it like this. It's a brake pedal on a race car. When things start to speed up and you get all anxious, you get all frightened, and things get too fast in the brain, GABA hits the brakes and keeps you from crashing into high stress or anxiety. It's amazing stuff. I can tell you that right now. Now, in terms of GABA receptors, you can think of them as like the doors that let calm in. The GABA A receptor. What is it? Well, these are like fast-acting doors that let calming chemicals come right in right away. Think of it as like an automatic sliding door that opens up super fast when GABA starts knocking. It's like, hey, let me in. I want to be a part of your body. And when it's the GABA B receptor, which is a different type of receptor, what is it? It's slower working. It's the doors that actually work a little slowly. They gently help you stay calm over time. So you see the difference between the two. Think of it like this, like a heavy wooden castle door that opens up real slowly, but stays open longer. Now, when it comes down to it, we have what we call the GABA transporters, or GATs. Think of it as like the cleanup crew or maintaining balance. It's like these are special proteins that clean up extra GABA after it's used, so things actually stay balanced. It's like a street sweeper. Literally, it's a street sweeper that comes out after a parade and it keeps the brain's streets clean and calm. And that's what that's all about. So when it comes to GABA, we also have what's called GABA tone. This is literally like background calm. What is it? Even when you're not doing anything, your brain keeps a little GABA flowing to prevent overwhelm. Isn't that nice? The ability for GABA tone. Now, we could think of that is like a white noise machine that's always running quietly in the background to help you focus. So GABA is related to self-regulation, the ability to regulate your feelings, your focus, and ADHD. If you take GABA versus, let's say, glutamate, what is it? Well, GABA calms the brain, while glutamate actually excites it. So they need to stay balanced. So you can think of it as like hot and cold water in a shower. You don't want all hot or all cold. You want just the right mix. And GABA has a wonderful impact on anxiety. Low GABA can lead to worry, racing thoughts, or trouble sleeping. And that's the beauty of GABA. Think of it as like if you're trying to sleep while someone keeps switching on a flashlight in your face, GABA turns that light off so the brain could just shut down. Now, there are GABA medicines out there, like doctors sometimes use meds that boost GABA to help with anxiety or to help with seizures, right? And that's the reason why you should always talk to a physician. But think of it like using a volume knob to turn down mental noise when it gets too loud. Okay? It can really help. And when it comes to ADHD, GABA is supportive, as well as pranayama. Pranayama is very supportive. That's the yogic breathing style that's been around for 5,000 some odd years. But GABA and ADHD, people with ADHD, they have less GABA. That's what most people just don't get. They don't understand it, which makes it harder to hit the brakes on thoughts and actions. This is what most people, they either get it or it's an afterthought or they're not privy to this knowledge. They're not in the know about it. So think of it like driving a car with no brakes. It's hard to stop or slow down, especially when your brain wants to go quick, but GABA steps in and pulls those brakes. So when you combine GABA with pranayama, the breathing from yoga, that's pranayama is that slow breathing through yoga that can boost GABA production. Could also help calm your brain and calm your emotions. That's the beauty of it. And you can look into the science for that if you want to. Think of it like tuning a guitar string until it stops buzzing and it sounds just right. Your breath starts to tune your brain to a very calm mode. Now, we can boost GABA naturally. That's the fun part. Food could do that. Spinach, broccoli, fermented foods, they all help your body make more GABA. Now you got to keep in mind with fermented foods, how they impact the skin. They get sometimes certain people have maybe acne trouble or let's say rosacea, you can wind up aggravating those things. Again, that's the reason why you want to check with a medical physician. Think of it like giving your brain a building block to make more chill out juice. And spinach and broccoli and those fermented foods, they can actually support you. It's just going to help you create that chill out juice. Our brains, our bodies make GABA naturally. They do. And when it comes to movement, yoga and exercise can actually increase GABA levels. And that's what I like about that. Keep moving. Moving your body charges up your calm battery. You're utilizing that excess energy that maybe you're carrying. Now, the cold showers and saunas that exist out there, well, a lot of people use cold or heat because it helps balance the brain chemistry and GABA. Like if you wanted to sleep at night, if you really want to sleep at night, we're not talking about staying asleep. We're talking about going to sleep. There is a distinction. If you want to go to sleep, the body must cool down. Absolutely. The body must reduce temperature, must get cool. Otherwise, you will not sleep. If the body temperature stays high, you won't sleep. So the body must get cold. This is one of the main reasons why they tell you to go take an ice cold shower and make sure that the ice water from the shower is hitting the base of your skull. It's literally hitting the brainstem right over there. It sends a wonderful chemical cocktail in the body to just shut you down so you can actually sleep better. So I want you to understand that when it comes to cold and heat, using cold and heat, you can think of it as like a reset button that shocks your brain into calmness, like jumping into a cold lake. To me, when it hits that brainstem, yeah, get ready. Because in about 20 minutes or so, you're probably going to sleep like a baby. Again, this doesn't constitute staying asleep, this constitutes going to sleep. Supplements like magnesium, L-theanine, or valerian, they may help alongside with GABA, but they should be used wisely. Again, speak to somebody who understands herbs or a medical physician. Think of it like as adding fertilizer to a plant. Too much can hurt, but the right amount really helps it grow. Now, how GABA helps you stay in control is emotional inhibition. It helps you. GABA lets you pause and slow down before reacting when you're angry or frustrated, right? This connects to the default mode network of the brain, the DMN, to some degree. Think of it like a wise coach holding you back before you rush onto the field too soon. So this is connected to our executive function in the brain, prefrontal cortex. And that brings us over to the DMN and overthinking. So what it is GABA helps quiet your default mode network. That's that part of the brain. You can see my whiteboard video on that, because basically the DMN, the default mode network, that causes daydreaming or overthinking because it's very relative to when the mind is wandering. It's a wandering state of mind. Think of it that way. It's like turning off the background TV when you're trying to do homework, right? The DMN's got all this noise, mental noise. It's like hearing a bunch of people chatter, right? And the brain can actually grow quiet. Now, what's powerful about GABA is it can be used in a restorative state. With more GABA, you enter a calm, healing state instead of being in stress. I mean, you have to understand, like, let's be real. If you think that stress doesn't impact your health, you should probably do the research, because quite honestly, every time you're stressed out, it's like getting a little chemical cocktail, a little injection of the wrong chemicals in the body that are impacting your health. It's you want to shift from like that beast mode to Zen mode. And GABA is that friend to actually do it. It's supportive with behavioral control. So more GABA means better self-control, less blurting out, less oversharing, and more focus and staying relaxed. So think of it as like having a traffic light in your brain to stop, go, or slow down just at the right times. It is so underrated. It really is. It's absolutely underrated. So the things that we looked at today is, what is GABA? That it's literally that chill chemical. The receptors are the fast and slow doors, right? And they each have their own advantage. They have the transporters, which acts as like a cleanup crew in the brain. And then, of course, GABA and glutamate is the brakes versus the gas. So glutamate is actually going to speed you up. So low GABA equals trouble, and ADHD and anxiety is sure as hell is not too far away. So if you boost GABA naturally with food, movement, pranayama, breath work, it can help out. It can absolutely help out. GABA in practice is that calm, that focus, and that wonderful emotional balance that's there. So what I want you to walk away with today is that GABA is that bridge between that science and self-regulation. This is a neurotransmitter. And this is really going to help you slow down and have that art of inner calm. That's what it's all about. It's the invisible chemistry. It's all there. You probably heard about dopamine. You probably heard about serotonin. But the one thing that no one talks about is the one that's quietly going to save your sanity is GABA. But you hear it on this channel. GABA is literally the silence between thoughts. It's the space between stress and letting go. It's the difference between reacting and rushing into to throw yourself into the fire, or slowing down enough to respond. So it's not just as a neurotransmitter, but It's a message. What I'm stating here is a message and a map for anyone that's craving some peace in the world that's absolutely on fire. Okay? We know and understand it's that gamma aminobutyric acid. It's an inhibitory neurotransmitter. So, like we talked about, it's that brake pedal of your nervous system. When GABA's flowing properly, your DMN, your default mode network, slows down. Less rumination, less anxiety, more mental clarity. So the key takeaway is that GABA doesn't make you feel euphoric. It helps you feel natural. And sometimes that's the beauty, that's the miracle. And people have GABA deficit. It's why modern life is totally draining. We are so depleted. Chronic stress, caffeine, poor sleep, even social media overstimulation, more overstimulation. Binge watching for 9 hours, video games for 9 hours, right? And I'm exaggerating, of course, but overstimulation, you get my point. But all of this overstimulation, what you don't understand, it's reducing GABA activity. Get it straight, because I'm the person to say it. When GABA is low, it's like driving a car with no brakes. You're flooded with thoughts, you're flooded with emotions, you're flooded with tons of reactivity. And this can show up as ADHD-like symptoms, just general anxiety, lots and lots of insomnia, that restlessness and the obsessive thoughts, right? But here's the bridge to the big emotional insight I want you to walk away with today. When you feel like your mind won't shut up, it's often your brain's cry for GABA, not just asking for more willpower and trying harder. So you can activate GABA very naturally. You don't always need a pill. You don't always need like a ritual. We talked about deep breathing, pranayama will help that production, slow breathing, exhalation focused, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is connected to pranayama breathwork, box breathing. This enhances GABA release. Yoga and movement enhances GABA release. Cold exposure and heat enhances it. L-theanine, magnesium, valerian, all of these are supportive, but with caution. So just understand your body is wired for balance, and when you honor that rhythm, GABA shows up and helps you just return back to your normal self. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode on GABA. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with other people that actually need it. And if you want to buy me a coffee to say thanks for this episode, feel free to go in my YouTube description and do it there. There's a link to buy a coffee there. Not to mention, you could also do it in the Podbean podcast description. Have a great day. See you on the next episode.